The smell of sweat and leather filled the small boxing gym. Old posters of faded champions hung on the walls, and the thud of gloves against heavy bags echoed like distant thunder. In the center ring, under the harsh glare of fluorescent lights, stood Tyler the Titan Kane, undefeated, loudmouthed, and utterly convinced he was a king of the sport. Tyler had built his reputation not only on his wins, but on his cruel sense of humor. If he wasn't knocking someone out, he was embarrassing them in front of a crowd. To him, boxing wasn't just about skill, it was about dominance. And today he had his sights set on a new joke. Leah was only 16. She was tall for her age, but her frame was lean, almost fragile-looking. Her braids were tied back neatly, her sneakers worn from too many miles of running. She had been coming to the gym for months, quietly training in the corner, barely speaking to anyone. Most people ignored her, except Coach Ramirez, who saw something in her eyes that reminded him of the fighters who refused to quit. Tyler didn't care about any of that. To him, Leah was just a kid playing dress-up in boxing gloves. "Hey, Coach," he shouted, loud enough for everyone to hear. "How about we let the little princess here go around with me? I promise I'll go easy." His smirk made the other fighters chuckle uncomfortably. Leah froze. She didn't like attention, especially not from someone like Tyler. But before she could say no, Ramirez stepped forward. His eyes flicked between them, weighing something only he understood. "If she wants to," Ramirez said evenly. "Leah?" The room fell silent. Leah felt her heart pounding, her hands trembling. She could say no. She could walk away. But deep inside, something burned, a quiet, stubborn fire. She nodded once. Tyler grinned like a predator. "Perfect. I'll teach her a thing or two about the real world." He didn't realize just how real it was about to get. The gloves were laced up. The bell hadn't even rung. But everyone in the gym could sense it. Something was about to happen that none of them would forget. The gym's small crowd gathered around the ring, their murmurs blending into a low hum of anticipation. Tyler bounced on his heels, shadowboxing for show, grinning at his own reflection in the mirrors. Leah, in contrast, stood still in her corner, her gloves resting lightly against her thighs. Her eyes didn't wander. They stayed fixed on Tyler, studying in the way a chess player studies the board before making a move. Coach Ramirez leaned close to her. "Keep your hands up. Don't let him control the rhythm. Remember what we practiced, angles and timing." His voice was calm, but his gaze carried an unspoken message. "Don't be afraid." Tyler clapped his gloves together. "Ready, little princess?" he taunted. "Don't cry when I tap you on the nose." His friends laughed, the sound grating like nails on glass. The bell rang. Tyler moved forward fast, dancing left to right, flicking playful jabs that didn't quite land. It was a performance, one meant to make her flinch. Leah didn't flinch. Instead, she pivoted, her feet light, circling away from his reach. She wasn't fast out of fear. She was fast because she'd been trained to be. The spectators started to notice. Tyler lunged in with a looping right hook, but Leah slipped under it, her braids swinging over her shoulder. She didn't throw a counterpunch. Not yet. Instead, she kept moving, letting him burn energy. Tyler frowned. He wanted a quick laugh, not a slow chase. "Stop running," he barked, throwing another jab. This time, Leah parried it cleanly, her glove tapping his arm away like she'd been doing for years. Coach Ramirez's lips twitched into the faintest smile. He knew Leah's plan. Let Tyler think she was scared, make him reckless, and then strike. Tyler, irritated now, stepped in hard and swung wide again. But Leah, with barely a step backward, popped a sharp jab into his chin. Nothing brutal, just enough to make his head snap back. The crowd gasped. Tyler's smirk faltered. For the first time, he realized this little princess might not be here to play his game. The sound of that jab seemed to echo in Tyler's head. His pride stung more than his chin. He straightened, eyes narrowing, his playful swagger fading into something colder. "Oh, you think you're cute now?" he growled, stepping forward with heavier feet. Leah didn't answer. She just adjusted her stance, gloves high, breathing steady. She had learned a long time ago that silence was its own kind of weapon. Tyler threw a flurry, 3 quick punches, a hook, then an uppercut, the kind of combination meant to overwhelm. Leah blocked the first 2, ducked under the hook, and slid to her right before the uppercut even came close. It was like she'd read the move before he threw it. The crowd started whispering. Who is this girl? She's not even sweating. Tyler better be careful. Coach Ramirez's eyes stayed locked on Leah. Every step she took, every slip, every pivot was deliberate. She wasn't just surviving. She was learning him. Tyler tried to laugh it off, but his frustration bubbled over. All right, he muttered under his breath. Time to stop playing. He lunged in with a straight right, this time aiming with real force. Leah leaned just far enough back for the punch to skim past her cheek. Then crack. She fired a short hook into his ribs. It wasn't a knockout punch, but it landed clean. Tyler froze for a fraction of a second, the shock flashing across his face before he masked it. Leah stepped back, giving him space, her eyes still fixed on him like a puzzle she was solving. She could feel her own heart pounding, but she wasn't afraid anymore. Tyler charged again, but now his movements were less precise, more aggressive. He wanted to put her down quickly, for his pride, for the eyes watching. But with each wild punch he threw, Leah saw more openings. And as the second round approached, one thing became clear to everyone watching. Tyler Kane was no longer the one in control of this fight. The bell rang for round 2, and Tyler didn't wait. He stormed out of his corner like a bull, gloves up, jaw set. He wasn't taunting anymore. He was hunting. Leah, still calm, let her legs carry her in tight circles, never giving him a straight line to hit. Every time he lunged, she slipped to the side, her sneakers squeaking against the canvas. She was conserving her energy. He was burning through like a fire in dry grass. The crowd's tone shifted. Earlier, they were here to watch Tyler humiliate her. Now, they were leaning in, drawn to the quiet precision of her movements. Even some of Tyler's friends had stopped laughing. Tyler swung a heavy left hook. Leah ducked and came up with a jab to his temple. The snap of her glove on his head echoed through the gym. He stumbled half a step, glaring at her. "You're dead," he spat, more to himself than to her. Coach Ramirez's voice rang out from the side. "Breathe, Leah. Make him miss, then make him pay." It was exactly what she did next. Tyler charged in with another barrage, but Leah dipped low and slipped out to his right. In the same motion, she whipped a crisp combination. Jab, cross, left hook. The cross smacked him straight in the mouth guard, and the hook dug into his ribs again. Tyler's breath caught. His confidence, the thing that had always carried him, was beginning to crack. The onlookers were no longer whispering. They were talking openly now. She's working him. He's slowing down. She's reading him like a book. For Leah, the world had narrowed the rhythm of the fight. His footsteps, the hiss of his gloves through the air, the thump of her own punches finding their mark. She wasn't thinking about proving anyone wrong. She wasn't even thinking about Tyler anymore. She was just in it. Then came the moment that made the crowd roar, Tyler desperate. Threw a right hook so wide it left his entire side open. Leah stepped in and landed a clean, snapping uppercut that sent his head back. For the first time, Tyler stumbled into the ropes. And the look on his face wasn't anger anymore. It was disbelief. The ropes rattled as Tyler caught himself, his gloves gripping the top strand. The noise in the gym was deafening now. Not boos, not cheers for him, but shouts for her. Leah didn't rush in recklessly. She stayed light on her feet, waiting, watching. She knew enough to never chase a cornered fighter blindly. Tyler's chest rose and fell hard. He was breathing through his mouth now, the air rasping past his mouth guard. "You got lucky," he grunted, though his voice lacked the conviction it had before. Leah tilted her head slightly, almost like she was asking, "Did I?" The referee waved him back into the center. Tyler swung another heavy punch, but it was slower now, easy to see coming. Leah slipped it and countered with 2 sharp jabs to his jaw. The crowd roared louder. Coach Ramirez was practically smiling now. Keep touching him. Break him down. Tyler tried to roar back into the fight, throwing wild combinations that smacked against her guard or sliced through empty air. Every miss made him more frustrated. Every clean shot she landed chipped away at his pride. Then came the punch that shifted everything. Leah feinted low, making Tyler drop his hands just slightly and popped a straight right into his nose. His head jerked back, and a thin trickle of blood appeared. Gasps filled the gym. Tyler staggered a step, wiping at the blood with his glove. His friends on the sideline shouted, trying to rally him, but their voices felt far away. Leah didn't gloat. She didn't smile. She simply kept moving, her eyes locked on him, reading every twitch of his shoulders, every shift of his feet. By now, everyone watching could see it. Tyler wasn't trying to humiliate her anymore. He was trying to survive. The bell rang again, ending the round, and Tyler slumped onto a stool, his chest heaving. Across the ring, Leah sat calmly, sipping water, her expression unchanged. But deep inside, she knew something. One more round like that, and this fight would be over in a way no one in this gym had ever imagined. The final round began with a tension so thick you could feel it in the air. Every person in that gym leaned closer to the ring, some holding their breath, others whispering in disbelief at what they'd just witnessed. Tyler rose from his stool slowly, his movements heavy. Sweat streamed down his face, mixing with the blood from his nose. He tried to keep his chin high, but his eyes betrayed him. They were filled with doubt. Leah stood in her corner, calm as ever, gloves up, breathing steady. She wasn't chasing glory. She wasn't thinking about payback. She was here to finish what she started. The bell rang. Tyler came forward, but there was no speed, no precision. His punches were wide and desperate. Leah blocked, slipped, and countered with surgical precision. A jab to the cheek, a hook to the ribs, a cross to the chin. Each one landed clean, each one stealing a little more of his will. The crowd's energy shifted completely now. They weren't just impressed, they were rooting for her. Cheers of "Let's go, Leah!" echoed through the gym, a sound she'd never heard directed at her before. Tyler swung again, but his footing was sloppy. Leah saw her opening. She stepped inside his reach and unleashed a rapid four-punch combination. Jab, cross, left hook, right uppercut. The uppercut snapped his head back so violently that his knees buckled. Gasps filled the air. Tyler stumbled, his glove brushing the canvas as he fought to stay up. The referee stepped closer, ready to intervene. But Leah didn't attack recklessly. She stepped back, letting Tyler try to recover, her eyes never leaving him. The crowd roared at her control, at the fact that she wasn't just winning, she was commanding the ring. Tyler swayed forward, throwing one last sluggish punch. Leah slipped it effortlessly and landed a final, clean cross to his jaw. His body went limp, and he dropped to one knee before the referee waved it off. It was over. The gym exploded with cheers. Tyler's friends were silent, their smug grins erased. Coach Ramirez climbed into the ring, pride radiating from his face. Leah didn't raise her fists or scream in triumph. She simply walked to her corner, gloves still on, eyes calm. She had nothing to prove anymore. The arrogant boxer had tried to humiliate her, but in the end, the unthinkable had happened. She'd taught him, and everyone watching, exactly what true strength looked like.